This morning, Governor Akpabio comments peaceful conduct of PDP House of Assembly primaries. People's Democratic Party elects flag bearers to House of Assembly in 2015. Niger Delta Development Commission orders contractors to fast-track work at Project Site Plus. Correspondent X-rays eating habits among people. This and lots more in our package this morning. Good morning and welcome to KBC 45 News at dawn. I am Miriam Ikbutu. Governor Akpabio says he is delighted that money politics for the first time has been eliminated in the state, as witnessed in Saturday's House of Assembly primaries. Chief Akpabio stated this while fielding questions from Government House reporter in Uyo after participating in the primaries as a statutory delegate in Esianodem. The reports reaching him showed that the People's Democratic Party House of Assembly primaries in the state was devoid of manipulations and external influence. Their success, he explained, was that the leader of the party in the state had provided an enabling environment and adequate security for a transparent, free and fair primaries where the people were allowed to vote according to their conscience. Governor Akpabio stated further that as the leader of the party in the state, he and the stakeholders had earlier met with the party faithful in local governments they suspected will have problems due to the number of aspirants, to advise them on the need to maintain the peace during the primaries. Chief Akpabio said aside from the appeal committee constituted by the National Executive Committee of the PDP, the state has set up a robust mechanism that will look into complaints of members, if any, after the primaries.
Good fortunes for the People's Party come 2015 general elections, that yes indeed the true democracy has been practiced and the primaries for the House of Assemblies were totally devoid of manipulation, devoid of any external influence.
Reacting to the defection of some members of the PDP in the state to All Progressive Congress, Chief Akpabio said such members were being misled by someone who is just joining a political party for the first time. According to the governor, to the state government, Oba Umano Konumana, who declared for the APC, was just exercising his constitutional rights. He advised politicians to focus on harmonious coexistence in the state while engaging in their campaigns to ensure that the hard-earned democracy thrives not only in the state but in the country. Speaking on other national issues, Chief Akpabio condemned the bombing that claimed more than 100 of lives in Kano State. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) on Saturday held primaries to elect flag bearers to the House of Assembly in the state come 2015. The primaries took place at various state constituencies, center and special centers, including Police Mobile Base, 26 Squadron Road Idoro, Road Uyo, Police Mobile Squadron 57 Okana and Uyo Township Stadium. Correspondents monitored the exercise at the various centers. The report is here presented in our studios.
At Mobile Road Uyo, the atmosphere was that of anxiety and uncertainty, as the game of politics itself is. Delegates started arriving from each local government areas at about noon, but were prevented from gaining access into the mobile force base by the policemen. At about 4 o'clock in the evening, the materials for the election arrived the venue and the stage was set for the PDP primaries. Firstly, the delegate went through thorough security check at the gates before gaining access to the venue. While at the venue, the party officials directed the delegate to queue up according to their constituency for accreditation. In an interview, the Deputy Governor, Lady Balare Bey, and the Secretary to the State Government, Engineer Nkerewu Mekanum, commended the PDP for providing a level playing field for all candidates to test their popularity in the primaries, stressing that the era of imposition of candidates is over. They advised those who will win to be humble in victory and the losers to exhibit the spirit of sportsmanship.
Well, I'm not surprised. He's come from a state of a governor who knows the usefulness of peaceful conduct of the election. It's really wonderful. I'm very, very impressed. God will help us to complete everything the way it is. Thank you.
Everything was normal, and I'm very impressed. There have been no problems. The voters have voted, and the officials and the returning officers are doing their work. So everything is normal. And
the electoral officer from INEC, Mr. A.K. Steve, expressed satisfaction with the conduct of the PDP primaries, noting that it met the parties and the Commission's guidelines.
The whole place is calm and it started in a good atmosphere, and I believe it ended up in a good atmosphere as well.
At the mobile police base Ukana in the Seldom local government area, Yagano Paul reports that the PDP primaries was a hitch-free exercise. Delegates from 9 local government areas converged at Ukana for the exercise. They were a Senudem, Ikorekbene, Kanafun, Atimekbu, Ini, Uborokara, Kesereket, Ibno, and Ika. The process commenced with the accreditation of delegates from each local government, after which voting began. Speaking with AKBC News, some party officials and stakeholders said the exercise was held at the police base for security reasons and described the process as peaceful.
It is even a surprise to many critics of the party that the PDP has been able to conduct a violent, free nomination today is something that baffles me. That's why I give glory to God first.
We also show that PDP has deepened democracy, because this is actually an internal affair of PDP. And what we have here is a collection of many constituencies.
To enable candidates or delegates to vote without bias, to vote without molestation.
Very peaceful atmosphere, well organized, with high level of discipline.
From what you can see, not myself alone, accreditation is going on. There is no fight.
AKBC News observed that roads around the venue of the primaries had a free flow of traffic, while traders had a good business opportunity. Uyo Township Stadium hosted Orowanam, Mbo, Udonoko, Oron, Nsaripun, Itu, Uran, and Refon Ruko delegates. Correspondent Florence Umoito reported that the atmosphere at the venue was peaceful, and the delegates conducted themselves in a friendly manner, addressing the returning officers at the party secretariat. During the distribution of material, the chairman of the primaries committee, Prince Bola Yebowale, called for care on the part of the returning officers. He later joined the party chairman, Obon Polekbo, to inspect the exercise across various centers.
We are here to see things to ourselves, because one happy thing that has happened today is that we promised everybody to go home and campaign with the delegates. The election shall be free and fair.
The use conducted and completed without any rank up, and we have seen that the election is okay.
The State House of Assembly Primary Appeals Panel of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Akwa Ibom State, has ordered the repeat of the PDP House of Assembly primary election conducted in Eket State constituency last Saturday. In a release issued in Uyo yesterday, signed by Secretary Prince Chuka Osuji, The appeal panel explained that the action is due to the fact that the November 29 primary election in Eka State constituency was inconclusive. According to the release, the repeat election has been scheduled to take place today at the Mobile Police Base Iduru Road, Uyo, at noon. It invites all delegates to report at the venue from 10 a.m. for accreditation. The Managing Director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, Barrister Basi Danabia, has directed all contractors handling road projects for the Commission to use the dry season to speed up work at various sites for prompt delivery to the people. Barrister Bia gave the directive in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital, while inspecting various roads and other infrastructure being built by the NDDC in parts of the state. Among projects inspected by the NDDC boss were the emergency repair works on Ikorokan, Bareni Road, the construction of Odorotan, Ikorikban, Ikoroyanko, Odorikorob Abiate Road, which passes through Bareni, Ikorobasi, Eastern Obolo to the east-west road to Port Harcourt. Others were the construction of Ikorikon, Ntafre Polo, Ikorin Inion Road, and the extension of Okwo, Akbautom, Odorike Etebi Road with spur from Irumota Medium, Irumepene, which traverses Esreka to Mbo local government area. The NDDC Managing Director also spent time to assess the progress of work at the University of Uyo Teaching Hospital's students' hostels, which were awarded by the Commission 10 years ago. An engineer, the hostel site, Engineer Basi Inoye, told the NDDC boss that at least the construction of the hostel blocks have been completed, awaiting commissioning. Barrister Danabia expressed joy that although the building of the hostels had been delayed, it was a thing of joy that the project has finally seen the light of the day. Barrister Abia directed all the contractors and workers at the hostel site to complete the cleanup of the buildings for the commissioning next month. At the site of Okwa, Akbautom, Odorike Road, the engineers said their work was hindered by the last heavy rains and promised to speed up work during the dry season. Barrister Bia told them to complete the road without delay to alleviate the suffering of the people. Speaking at the end of the tour, the NDDC Managing Director said the days in which top management of the Commission sit in offices to do their jobs were gone, as they now have to visit project sites to obtain first-hand information on all jobs awarded by the Commission. He said as an indigene of Akwa Ibom State, he will not spare efforts in delivering quality jobs across the Niger Delta region in line with the Uncommon Transformation Program of Governor Godswill Akpabio. He advised communities in which NDDC projects are located against hostility to any contractor, warning that if a community exhibits any such tendency towards contractors, the Commission will relocate the projects to other communities.
Very strategic way to open up both the fishermen, both the farmers to take their produce right down the road. Yes. So, we are on a serious business. So many other projects.
When we return, correspondent beams light on people's eating habits. This and lots more when we come back. Stay with us.
My challenge to the Akwa Ibom youth today is to rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. Rise up and protect the uncommon transformation. There must be sustainability. So for me as a governor, I'm charging Akwa Ibom children, the future belongs to you. Your fathers have done their bit. Rise up and protect your future. Bring a governor that will bring industrialization. Bring a governor that will bring progress. Bring a governor that will bring development. Not the one that goes on ethnic cleavage. Not the one that goes to bring tribalism. Not the one that gangs up with elders and wants to come through the window. I want to use this opportunity to congratulate our dear President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, for the endorsement given to him by the National Executive Committee of our party as a sole candidate in 2015 presidential election. I want to thank the people of Nigeria for recognizing that leadership comes from God, and God gives it to whom He pleases. So I stand with my dear President so that he will succeed for my children to have Nigeria tomorrow. I thank Nigeria for supporting Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan.
So good to have you back. If you are invited to a dinner that will be attended by important personalities, outside what to wear, which may be your first consideration, what is the next thing that will cross your mind? Maybe managing table ethics, since a buffet may be available at the dinner, but what will you do if perhaps you have never given attention to your eating habits nor observed table manners in and outside your home? Will you stay away from the dinner and miss all the fun, or will you take a chance and end up embarrassing yourself? It is not too late to learn table manners or control your eating habits, since that dinner may come up any moment. To have good eating habits and table ethics, Paul ventured into the world of catering services and home economics for tips.
Table manners can be referred to as the set of rules of etiquette used while eating, which may include the appropriate use of cutlery. But it must be noted that different cultures observe different rules of table manners. Eating habit, on the other hand, refers to why and how people eat, which food they eat, with whom they eat, as well as ways people obtain, store, use and discard food. Etiquette and eating rituals vary depending on whether the meal is informal, formal, or special. Various food guides provide suggestions on food to eat, portion sizes, and daily intake. But however, personal preferences, habits, family customs, and social setting largely determine what a person consumes. For instance, if one is attending a social function that buffet is served, the person should approach the process with a mission, that is, deciding what to eat, and avoid taking food he is not sure of how to eat. Loading of plates with excess food will be embarrassing. Rather, the person should avoid attending the buffet if he or she is very hungry. Avoid talking with your mouth full. Don't pick teeth with your fingers. Don't place your elbows on the table. Don't bring your mouth down the plate. Take small bites at a time. Don't rush the food. And most importantly, use the right cutlery according to the manager of Hakta Institute of Catering and Hotel Management, Mr. Michael Obon.
I have to say that the way we eat matters a lot in the public. The way we chew matters a lot in the public. For instance, you don't just even to pick after eating. See them pierce the teeth just like that, putting out things like that, carelessly like that. It affects a lot of things in the public. Speaking of those, sneezing and all that, those things should be controlled. Especially when you have a self-service buffet meal. They'll fill the place to some point that they may not even be able to finish it. They may even be tempted to pouring most of the food into some container, some bags within, which ought not so to be.
If you are invited to a lunch, you should observe your host. Wait until he invites you to the table. Use the right cutlery, napkins, and other table items. And remember to thank your host when you are through. Behaviors to keep in mind while eating include chewing with your mouth closed, avoiding slopping, smacking, picking teeth at the table or with your fingers, waiting until you are done with chewing to sip or swallow a drink unless you are choked. Crossing to the other end of the table for something and packing of food in cellophane bags should be avoided, according to a senior lecturer in Home Economics Department, University of Uyo, Dr. Nkoye Isong.
I would say when they go out to eat, they should behave. At a point, if you are going to the occasion, eat before you go there. So that by the time you see food there, you don't just, grab and disgrace yourself because you are hungry. And when you go to line up to pick the food small at a time. You can go back for the helping hands. You can get a little, not to heap, not to gather everything. Other people must also take their own share.
It is also important to eat slowly by putting down fakes between bites. Eating when you feel worried, tensed, or bored may lead to overeating. To give your body and brain time to relax, practice an old saying that says, eat breakfast like a king, lunch as a prince, and dinner as a pauper.
When you go to the public, never you pack food, never you take the polythene paper with you, or polythene bag, whatever you have container, whichever one, eat and leave the rest for others to share, and respect yourself. Because when we form this,
the way we eat matters a lot in the public. The way we chew matters a lot in the public, especially in the public. I know most of the people must have had this from homes, wrongly brought up. But in a civilized society, as we are seeing Akwa Ibom to be the destination, we should see how we can comport ourselves to meet the standard in our world.
Although changing eating habits may be difficult, you can always learn, as the students of Hakta Institute of Catering School did.
Sometimes I only use fork in my right, and it was wrong. When I go out today, I'll put some on top of the table, like putting the bones on top of the table.
When you have good eating habits and table ethics, you can dine with kings without looking back or fear of embarrassment.
And there's no need to rush about the food you are eating, because you are the person that is supposed to eat. There's no competition. So
from them, it's not good. And you eat and talk, and some of the particles of the food just drop down. And some sneeze, which is not good. You can sneeze and your sneeze may transfer to someone's food.
In our language, they call it kege. So they must eat and drink and make sure they consume more than what would have been expected of an individual. So our people should come to the awareness of the fact that we should not be doing this kind of things.
Like they say, to be forewarned is to be forearmed. Learn now, as tomorrow may be too late. Iyage no Paul reporting.
119 people who vied for the 26 state constituency seats were cleared to contest at the People's Democratic Party primaries on Saturday. The state chairman of the PDP, Paul Ekpo, gave the figure on yesterday while fielding questions from government house reporters on the outcome of the House of Assembly primaries in the state. He said the best way to deepen and sustain eternal democracy within the party was to allow party members who have indicated interest to vie for a seat in their constituencies to do so. Obon-Ikpo, who registered his satisfaction with the result of the primaries at the various state constituencies, added that he was able to give the party faithful a sense of honesty and freedom to choose who they wanted to represent them.
That the total aspirant under the platform of the party is 819 cleared. And so the 819 people stood for election today. And I'm happy that the results coming in had shown that the candidates who are popular in those areas emerge the winner.
The Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Kanokun, has been admitted into the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria, CITN, as an associate member. During the investiture in his office, the Commissioner was decorated with membership tag as well as presented membership certificate by the National President of CITN, represented by the National Council member, Mr. Joshua Eyosokwo. Welcoming Mr. Kanokun to the fold, Mr. Joshua Sokwo explained that he was mandated by the National President, Chief M.A.D.K., to induct him into the body, having considered his outstanding performance in the financial sector of the state within the short period he has been in office. He commended the Commissioner for Finance for his sense of duty, adding that his avoid commitment towards a re-energizing tax system in the state had endeared him to them. Responding, Mr. Kanokun expressed appreciation to the President and members of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria for according him the honor as their member. The Commissioner described his induction into the professional body as timely given the precarious situation in the country arising from consistent shortfall of federal allocation to states. He promised to work closely with CITN to achieve the revenue benchmark of the state, while also pledging his support and true allegiance to the association. The occasion was watched by the Acting Chairman, Internal Revenue Service, Mr. Nyetiedem, Vice Chairman, Uyo and District Society of CITN, Mr. Edemeka Odosen, and the Director in the Ministry of Finance. Meanwhile, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, Elder Effiong Udofe, has felicitated the Commissioner, Mr. Kanokun, on his induction into the CITN. In a congratulatory message on behalf of the management and staff, Elder Udofe described Mr. Kanokun as a man of humble mien and integrity who has demonstrated professionalism in the discharge of his duties. You can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter AKBC45 Uyo or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. That's the package this morning, but just before we go another look at the top stories. Governor Godswill Akpabio commenced peaceful conduct of PDP House of Assembly primaries. Niger Delta Development Commission directs all its contractors to speed up work at project site. Also, eating habits among people excelled. That's the package this morning. We thank you so much for joining us. Have a pleasant working week ahead. Good morning.
Sunshine.